Coin catches crooks. How, you ask? Watch this video and I'll give you some information and tell you the way they caught these dual-handed bandits. Hi all, I'm Frostbite. I don't know if you've seen, but recently there was an article in the Numismatic News on April 7th. However, there's a lot of questions that come from this article. There's a lot of questions that are raised, and I kind of want to read a little bit of the article, how this occurred, how it happened, but I also want to talk about things that we can do as consumers to protect our stuff. So 2 people were charged in connection with the theft of rare coins and bullion that were mailed to customers from Beaumont, Texas. One of the suspects was an employee of the United States Postal Service who's now awaiting federal sentencing along with forfeiture of funds. The other suspect, who was her adult son, died before he could be tried or agreed to a plea deal. Now, there were $400,000 in lost or stolen shipments over the course of the year. This was stated by Michael Fulgens at Universal Coin and Bullion there in Beaumont, Texas. Now, they said that they had challenged the post office on a number of occasions, stating that they repeatedly were having packages disappear, they were not arriving to their destination, and over and over and over, the post office said, it's not happening here, we've investigated it, it's just not happening. But if it wouldn't have been for the fact that a consumer who picked up the coin that was sold by the son had not contacted NGC to register his coin that was in a container, they might have never identified that the person who was actually stealing the stuff was actually one of the handlers at that very post office. Now, the item that was the coin that caught the crook was a mint 1845 Liberty $5 gold coin. Now, it's the one that's here, and it's also the one that's on the thumbnail of this video. And that coin turned up at Heartfelt's Fine Jewelry and Rare Coins. Now, the store customer who purchased the coin had went to their computer after getting home and entered the information in, and it was flagged at NGC. So NGC contacted them and said, hey, the coin was stolen. So reached out to investigators, did some investigation, and identified that Christopher Rosas, who was 39, had sold a number of coins at this particular shop. Now, it was very quickly evident that Christopher couldn't afford this type of coin. He worked at a local hamburger shop. He barely made minimum wage. But according to the people who he would come in and sell the coins to, he was given tens of thousands of dollars for various coins over the course of about a 6-month time frame. Now, because of this, Beaumont police and federal officials decided to kind of investigate this and worked out a little sting operation to try and track down where this information was going, how they were getting it, and who the culprit was within the system itself. Now, during the investigation, they identified that it was the mom of Christopher, Pamela Jo Rosas, who actually was the one who was capturing the packages. And when they finished the sting operation and they went to her place, they found tons of electronic items, TVs, they found refrigerators, they found stereo systems, cell phones, iPads, gaming controllers, laptops, just a ton of stuff that had been disappearing over the course of a number of years. So the question that I have at this point, and I'm sure a lot of you are having the same question, is how in the world can this go on for so long without flagging a system? They know that a lot of things are being stolen. They know they're happening at that particular post office. How was no internal investigation done? I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. And I promise there's going to be more information and ultimately another video that's going to be coming out. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Now, Miss Rosas, is facing 5 years in prison with a fine of up to $200,500. However, they're going to freeze her assets. Now, her assets were in the range between $500,000 and $5 million. Now, how does somebody at the post office have assets of over $5 million? They steal it. And so again, there should have been some sort of tax record or something that flagged this system. Again, this is a fundamental breakdown in how this was able to go on for so long. How did they not recognize this? But ultimately, it came down to NGC. It came down to their reporting, their structure, their coin database that actually was the item that allowed them to identify where it was sold to, who sold it, and that's what actually kicked off the investigation. Now, one thing that I really want to kind of drive home is that it really is important to be diligent when you're doing shipments. If something's missing, investigate it, report it, file a claim. Who is it going to? Now, there are things that you can do, and I'm going to be bringing some subject matter experts into the next live stream that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be working with some people that do auctions, so they send a large number of coins out. I'm going to find out how many times that they have issues, what kind of relationship they have with their post office, how they document it, what they do to prevent themselves from being a target to these kinds of things. But again, it goes back to the fundamental question: how in the world was this able to go on for so long? This and more will be talked about in the next discussion. So stay tuned. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you're subscribed, like that bell, hit that icon, make sure you get your notifications, and then put something down and comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what your frustrations are, what your concerns are regarding this topic.